Hello and welcome. Today we are diving deep into the science behind what we call good energy. You know, that vibe some people just seem to radiate? We're going to break down how that internal state isn't just some vague feeling. It's a very real, very physical thing that literally shapes our health. So, let's get right into it.
You've met them, right? People who just seem to glow from the inside out. They have this vitality that's more than just being in good shape. It's like an inner light. So what is that good energy, really? Is it some kind of magic, or is it something we can actually understand and maybe even create for ourselves? Okay, so first things first. When we talk about energy in this explainer, we are not talking about auras or anything mystical. We're talking about pure, hard physiology. Your energy is literally the sum total of all the internal movements happening in your body right now. Your heart beating, your lungs breathing, your hormones flowing, right down to the buzz of activity in every single one of your cells. It's real. It's physical.
And this quote from our source, Dr. Fa, just nails it. Energy is, in fact, ourselves. It's not something you have, it's what you are. And if your energy is you, then it makes perfect sense that good, balanced energy means good, balanced health. So the big question is, how do we get so out of balance in the first place?
Well, that brings us to the real villain of the story for so many of us, this invisible stress cycle. It's a loop that we get trapped in, and it becomes so normal that we don't even realize we're stuck. We end up living in what scientists call survival mode.
The best way to think about it is like this. You know how you can walk into a room with a really strong smell, and at first it's all you can notice. But if you stay in that room long enough, you kind of stop smelling it. You become nose blind. Well, our bodies do the exact same thing with stress. We get so used to the constant pressure, the anxiety, the fatigue, that our body just adapts, and that toxic state starts to feel completely normal.
And here's the sneaky biochemical trap that keeps us there. It starts when you feel stressed. Your body immediately releases the hormone cortisol, which is designed to flood you with sugar for a quick burst of energy, to fight a tiger or run away. But since there's no tiger, that cortisol just makes you crave more quick energy, usually in the form of sugar or junk food. You eat it, you get a little rush, and your brain forges a link. But here's the kicker. You don't just get hooked on the sugar. You actually get hooked on the chemical cycle itself, even the stress hormone.
To really get this, just think of your body as having two main operating systems. You've got the sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight-or-flight mode. That's the gas pedal, the emergency alarm system. Then you've got the parasympathetic nervous system, or rest and digest. That's the brake. That's the mode where all the good stuff happens: healing, growth, repair, real recovery. And here is the fundamental crisis of modern life. That fight-or-flight system was only ever meant for short bursts. You run from the tiger, you get away, and then you switch back to healing mode. But for us, the tiger is a traffic jam, an angry email, a news alert, another deadline. The alarm is just constantly blaring, and our bodies never get the all-clear signal to switch over to rest and digest. We're basically running from tigers all day, every single day.
So, if this stress cycle is so bad for us, where does it even begin? And that question brings us to the most powerful and maybe the most hopeful part of this whole equation: how our invisible thoughts create our very visible reality.
You have to see this sequence because it explains, well, everything. It all begins with a single thought. That thought acts like a blueprint. It then triggers a feeling, which is a literal chemical reaction inside your body. That feeling then drives you to take an action. You repeat that action enough times and boom, it becomes an unconscious habit. And what is the sum of all your habits? Well, that's your reality, your destiny. Your state of health is a direct printout of this chain.
And the most incredible, most empowering part of seeing this roadmap is that it shows you exactly where you have the power. You can jump in at any stage, sure, but the real command center, the place with all the leverage, is right at the very beginning. Your thoughts are the control panel for your entire life.
Okay, so if our thoughts are the control panel, how in the world do we actually do it? How do we start rewiring that autopilot that's been running the show for so long? How do we actually take back control? It really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? If your body has been running on stress for years, maybe decades, how do you consciously flip the switch and finally tell your system that it's safe? Safe to relax, safe to heal, safe to repair.
Well, the good news is, it boils down to a simple but really potent toolkit. Number one is awareness, because let's be honest, you can't change something if you don't even notice it's happening. Second is diaphragmatic breathing or belly breathing, which is like a physical remote control for your entire nervous system. And third, and this one is so overlooked, is self-compassion. That's the fuel that lets you keep trying without beating yourself.
Let's just zoom in on breathing for a second, because it is so powerful. When we're stressed out, we automatically take these short, shallow breaths high up in our chest. That sends a direct signal to the brain that says, danger, stay alert. But when you deliberately slow down and take deep, full breaths way down into your belly, it sends the opposite signal. It tells your brain, we're safe, you can stand down. It's the fastest physical hack to change your mental and emotional state.
Now, what about that self-compassion piece? Why is that so critical? Because think about it. When you're trying to break a habit and you mess up, what's the first thing we do? We criticize ourselves. Oh, I can't believe I did that again. But that self-criticism, that's just another form of stress. It literally triggers more cortisol and throws you right back into the exact loop you're trying to break. Simply saying, it's okay, I'm human, I'll try again. That breaks the cycle and allows you to actually move forward.
So all of this, the thoughts, the feelings, the habits, it all leads to a concept you've probably heard 1,000 times, manifestation. But hold on, we're not going to talk about it in some woo-woo mystical way. We are going to talk about the hard science of how your beliefs create your biology.
So, in this scientific context, what is manifestation? It's simply the logical, natural outcome of consciously using that chain of creation we just talked about. It means you stop waiting to feel healthy and instead start practicing the thoughts and feelings of a healthy person now. You literally change your state of being to match the future you want, and eventually, that future becomes your reality.
And if you want undeniable scientific proof that this is real, look no further than this. We've all heard of the placebo effect, right? A sugar pill can literally cure someone if they believe it's powerful medicine. But have you heard of its evil twin, the nocebo effect? This is where a negative belief, a doctor saying you have 6 months to live, can create a real, physical, harmful outcome. Your belief is a command your body follows.
And this true story is just chilling. A man named Sam Londe was diagnosed with what doctors told him was fatal esophageal cancer. He went home, he believed it, his family believed it, and just a few weeks later he died. But here's the crazy part. The autopsy came back and it showed the doctors were wrong. The cancer was actually very minor and hadn't spread. It wasn't the cancer that killed him, it was his absolute, unshakable belief that he was dying. His thoughts literally created his fatal reality.
So, the bottom line, the ultimate takeaway, is this: your body keeps the score. It is the most honest feedback mechanism you will ever have. Your energy levels, your posture, your aches and pains, your overall state of health, it is all a direct physical reflection of the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs you practice over and over again. Your body does not lie.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this one question to really sit with. Based on the thoughts you think most often, the feelings you feel every day, what future, what state of health are you thinking into existence for yourself right now? Because the power to change it has been inside you all along.